Hey, it's ExiledDarkness from Yugioh Team Backfire, and I'm here today to show you this. My Rise of the True Dragon structure deck. It's basically me taking 3 of these and adding in some tech cards like Mystical Space Typhoon or Advanced Draw, for example, and making a decent deck. Now, the focus of this deck is basically to get out this guy, Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, and to destroy your opponent by using the cards from the grave. Now, what Felgrand does, you go special summon from the grave, then you can banish the monster from their graveyard, and this guy gains attack points times 100 due to their level, or rank. Now, the good thing about this card is that if it attacks your opponent's monster and destroys it and sends it to the grave, you can bring back another dragon from the grave. That's level 7 or 8, except for Felgrand. So you can bring back Blue Eyes, or you can bring back, Arkbrave Dragon, which I have 3 of. Arkbrave Dragon is actually really good. If it's special summon from the grave, you can destroy all face-up spells and traps. So, for Blackwing players, that means no Black Whirlwind for you. It means, for Pendulums, no Pendulum cards for you. And Arkbrave is really good. I would usually send it to the grave, so I can bring back Felgrand from the grave. Or, also, 3 Amorphage Goliath. This is actually a card I teched in. It's a level 8, it's a dragon. I don't use the Pendulum effect, I would rather use the actual monster effect when neither player can special summon monsters from the Exiled deck, except for Amorphage monsters. Usually this would be bad if you were going as Amorphage, but Goliath, like I said before, is a level 8, it's a dragon, has decent attack, and locks your opponent out from using any cards from the Exiled deck, as long as it is on the field. So, for hero players, they can't bring out any of their heroes. For Blackwings, they can't bring out any extra deck monsters. For Burning Abyss, they can't bring out anything. Well, they can probably far for you and summon it, but that requires them to actually send it to the grave first. Next, we have Red Eyes Darkness Mellow Dragon. This guy is good because you can bring back, Amorphage Goliath or Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, and has decent attack too. Next, we have Dragon Knight of Creation. It's a good card, especially its second effect. But the first effect is it becomes level 8 during your opponent's turn only. The effect that I use is that when this card destroys not that effect. Oopsies. I mean, if you send a card from your hand to the grave, you can then target one level 7 or 8 dragon type monster in your grave, and send this card and the card you had in your hand to the grave to bring that level 7 or 8 dragon from the grave back to the field. So you can bring back Felgrand or Goliath or Arkbrave. Next we have 2 Paladin of Felgrand. This guy is only used so I can Felgrand, or Arkbrave to the grave. And now we have 2 hand destruction. Very, very helpful. I would say use this during the first turn. Sure, your opponent gets a draw 2, but they are forced to discard 2 cards in their hand. And you can send Arkbrave and Felgrand to the grave, or if maybe even Breakthrough Skill. Something that happens from the grave, and you can draw 2 new cards as well. Now here are 2 Mystical Space Typhoon that I added in, because this deck usually doesn't work very well when there's cards like Bottomless Trap Hole or Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning. Especially with Arkbrave, because if I want to use Arkbrave's effect, they would use Solemn Strike, and then it would negate the effect, and Arkbrave is useless in the grave then. So I would always use MST to get rid of the whatever they would try to do. Now here comes what I would say the most helpful spell of this entire deck. 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. It is basically Monster Reborn on steroid. 1, you can bring back a level 7 or 8 dragon from the grave. Felgrand, Goliath, must I go on? And if they would be destroyed by Raigeki or Torrential Tribute, banish this card from the grave, and your dragons are safe. Next, we have 2 Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. This is very helpful because if you have a level, let's say 7 or 8 dragon, and your opponent tries to special summon a monster except from the grave, then that monster's effects are negated until the next turn, until the end of this turn. Even if this card leaves the field. So let's say they Mystical Space Typhoon this card, it won't make a difference because their monster's effects will be negated until the end of the turn. And it's very, very, very helpful. 2 Terraforming, basically to search out Dragon's Ravine. And 3, to round the spells, 3 Trade-in. Kind of self-explanatory. You have 6, I think, level 8s. Especially it's with all the draw power and deck thinning that this deck provides. It's really easy to use Trade-in. Plus 2 cards is not to laugh at. Breakthrough Skill, like I was talking about earlier. Foolish Burial, Hand Destruction, Dragon Ravine. Send to the grave or just use it as a bluff. Not bad. 2 Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted is very helpful in this deck because, oh look, you can bring back Goliath, or you can bring back Felgrand, or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, or even Arkbrave Dragon. And it's the same thing with the 2 Oasis of the Dragon Souls. Sure, they become the worm type, and it won't really help with Return of the Dragon Lords, but still, bringing cards back from the grave, especially with Felgrand's effect, is very, very helpful. Speaking of bringing back monsters, we have 2 Dragon's Rebirth. You can target 1 dragon type monster you control. Of course you have to banish it, but bringing back Goliath, Arkbrave, Darkness Metal Dragon, and even Felgrand from the grave, it's very, very helpful. And to round off the last card of this deck is Dimensional Prison. This deck is basically more of a all-out attack, so you don't really need that many defensive cards, and you already have Return of the Dragon Lords, which can prevent from any dragon you control from being destroyed. So Dimensional Prison is a good card. I would most likely get rid of it for Storing Mirror Force since it doesn't target and bounces everything back to the hand. But still, Dimensional Prison is a good card. And here are some cards that I would add extras of if I had the chance of having multiple copies. Dark Bribe, for one, can stop basically anything at the cost of your opponent drawing a card, so I'll run at least 2 of those. Dragon Shrine, very good card. Would run 2 or 3, basically to send Arkbrave to the grave, but it's very good if you mix Red Eyes or Blue Eyes in this deck. But yeah, it's a good card. Solidarity, if you add this card in, you would have to take out the Paladin of Felgrand, because Paladin of Felgrand is a warrior, and this deck is mostly dragons. Plus 800 attack is not that bad. Advanced Draw, it's a decent card, but I would rather you don't put it in, but still, most of your dragons that you want on the field are level 8 or higher. You just tribute them, draw 2 cards, oh look, you have Hand Destruction or Return, bring that monster back. Well, that is my Rise of the Two Dragons structure deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to leave some comments tell me, what would you add in? Is there any changes you would make? And what deck would you put this in? Red Eyes or Blue Eyes? Anyways, this is ExiledDarkness from Team Backfire, signing out.